Annyeong, welcome to Afternoona Delight, where Leah, Megan, and Amy, romance novelists and your K-romance guides. So grab some dekboki and listen to your new favorite unnies. Hey, everybody.
Hello.
Hi there.
Well, you know what? We have gathered here because I'm trying to even encapsulate the joy I had of finishing Singles Inferno 3.
Yeah. We were kind of talking a little bit before recording because normally we kind of talk back and forth about what's going on in our lives. And today we're just nope, we are going to get right into it.
We need to debrief. This just happened.
So yeah, this will come out a week from today. But the Singles Inferno 3 finale literally aired yesterday. Okay, so Amy and I finished last night. Leah finished at 6:30 this morning.
We did, because I've been watching it with my 8-year-old who may or may not be appearing as a special guest as an addendum to this episode. But it got to 9:15 last night and we still hadn't finished. And we were just at the point where they were going to start to make their final choices. And my husband started to be like, she really needs to go to bed and not watch reality television. And so Poppy was distraught. She's like, oh, I won't see the end. And so I was like, okay. I was like, Poppy, we're going to get up because she normally gets up at 7. I was like, you're going to get up at 6:30 with me. Mm-hmm. It's only 15 minutes. We're going to have plenty of time to watch it. Then we can debrief. Mm-hmm. And then you can get ready for school this morning.
Incredible.
And she was like, yes, I'm down with it. I'm getting
And then 6:30 woke up, 6:30. I'm like, okay, Poppy, you ready? She's like, yes, let's go.
Yeah. So you're getting our pretty much immediate reaction and, we're really excited about it. So, as soon as they announced season 3 of Singles Inferno, all three of us were so pumped. So yeah, let's get into it. If you don't know, Singles Inferno is a reality dating show that has hooked all three of us with its charm, games, and contestants. It returned for the 3rd season at the end of last year. And as we said, the finale aired yesterday. So yeah, we watched it the day it dropped, and now we're recording because we are dedicated podcasters. You do not have to watch the first 2 seasons to understand and appreciate this season, but I think all of us are on board with saying every season is a good time. So if you do want some reality dating fun, just watch them all. Season 3 stars 12 contestants, 6 men and 6 women. And the setup of the show is this. The singles live on an island called Inferno, which has basic amenities. They compete to win a chance to go to Paradise, which is a luxury hotel with good food, pools, and hot tubs full of flower petals. And I think they're also on this island for 8 days, so it's not super long. So this season was billed as that they were changing things up a little bit, and so we will get to that. But first of all, without spoilers, what did you think about this season compared to previous seasons? Did you like it more, less, or the same?
So I can actually attest to you not having to watch previous seasons to enjoy, because I did not watch season 1. So, and I loved season 2 and I loved season 3. So
you've never gone back to watch season 1?
No.
Wow.
I will eventually, but when there's new dramas that I need to watch, I can't double dip. I just don't have time or the mental bandwidth to do that.
Yeah.
But I will eventually. But I really liked season 2 when I watched it, not having known season 1, and I love season 3. So I will say, what I kind of missed in this season, we'll talk more about it later. Even though I really enjoyed it and I enjoyed all the contestants, I missed it being more game and competition based. Last year, I feel like we had more games and competitions, where this time it was more pairing people up the second they step foot on the island. It's do. It's time to make your first choice. And I was like, what? Nothing even happened yet. So we'll talk more about that later. But yeah, that was when I say disappointment, I'm not really disappointed. I enjoyed all 11 episodes. But I did, and I won't spoil it just in case you are new, but we'll talk about it later too. But one of the things I really enjoyed this season was an additional host.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just say that.
Yeah. And so I would say, it's so hard because it's kind of the latest thing I watch is always my favorite. I'm very temperamental like that. Like, it's just, but so there was like a magic of season 1 that they can't replicate just because no one knew, like, those people had no idea what was like going on. And you could tell, like, it was just the Wild West. Okay. And,
the Wild West with flat irons,
the Wild West with a whole makeup tent. Okay. And then season 2, I have to admit, Jin Young, our Dex, the kind of, mid show surprise, still
the ringer.
Yeah, the ringer. I mean, he still is one of my favorite contestants.
Yeah, he stole the show.
And so I don't know. I think because of last season, but then this season, I would say just the amount of different personalities was very evident. Like, I just was really into they seemed a little bit more bold this season. And I don't know if it's because they saw what happened with previous seasons. They saw maybe what they could get out of it, that they were a little bit more bold, or maybe they're trying to like build their own personal brand, but I don't care. It was still great. So I don't know. It's so hard for me to tell. Season 4 will probably be my favorite. Who knows? They better have another season.
So yes to all that. So I won't repeat any of that. I will say, first, let me get my 2 criticisms out of the way for this season. One is, if I was a contestant, I'd be like, wait, what paradise is this? Because like they changed sponsorship or something.
Yeah, they changed
because Paradise is no longer actually like the Paradise Hotel.
That's what it was called, right? It was
that's why it was called Paradise. Yeah. And so, and it was like the big fancy hotel next to the airport that was like bananas cool. Mm-hmm. And like you were in like the pool suites. Like, I mean, awesome. Mm-hmm. And I mean, like, no shade to Grand Hyatt, don't at me, but like, it just didn't have the same luster of like Sweet Wow.
Yeah, they were like in this indoor pool that looked like a Holiday Inn. Like,
there was also like an amusement park. Like, wasn't there like a little like indoor amusement park last year? Like
at Paradise. Oh yeah, no, Paradise has like that, and the pool. Like they had the big indoor pools, which were amazing. I mean, just everything at that hotel was like over the top. Like when we go to Seoul someday, we will stay at Paradise for one night because
and they even had them like just eating at random restaurants. I was like, I mean, this looks nice and all, but like I want Paradise.
Yeah, I want Paradise too. So I had to say that, and I will say a lot of the cast was solid to me, but if you were boring, I felt like you were really boring.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, like there were
Agreed.
like,
we'll get to that,
and like, there's a couple of them that I was like, I felt bad, but I was like, what were we doing when we were casting? Like, did they show up one way and then just be like, now I'm going to just come here and be like, Meh.
Yeah, did you do a 180 from
But we had some great personalities too. But I mean, this is my gripe with Singles Infernos. I almost always feel like the women are like 10 out of 10s. Mm-hmm. And then the guys, we get like some bright lights and then we kind of get some like, okay.
I mean, some of these women, well, we're going to get to it.
We'll get there. We'll get there. Yeah.
So I wrote the script today, and I honestly, I want to just get to the spoilers. So I know a lot of times we have like a big like non-spoiler section, but you know what? No, we want to talk.
This isn't the kind of show that has non-spoilers.
Yeah, if you're gonna listen, you've watched it, or you're not going to, and you just want to hear us talk.
Yeah, even if you hear us, it's still fun to watch. Like it's
it doesn't even matter. You could know everything, and it would probably still be fun to watch. Maybe just not the last episode, but anyway, so if you haven't seen the show, you can check out, but really just listen to us. So one of the rules of the show, which this has gone across all the seasons, is that in Inferno, contestants cannot reveal their occupations or their ages, which really does leave them on an even playing field, so to speak. Only in Paradise can they get really personal, talk about their ages, talk about their occupations, all that stuff. So right now we're just going to go through the cast list, their names, ages, and their occupations. And let's just give kind of a brief, if we can keep it brief, reaction to each contestant, because I think that's what people want to know. It's funny. I sent Amy today.
My gosh, it's amazing.
I found this Korean couple, but they're Korean American, but they they did a silent reaction to each contestant, and it was so funny. So they'd hold up a picture of the contestant, and then they just like make these hand gestures and facial gestures to like let us know what they thought about it, and it was hilarious and spot on. And I sent that to Amy today. I'll try to link it in show notes if I can. Like,
oh yeah, because I was like 100% agree with everything they said. God. No notes, like
so funny. It was on RIIZE, I think, and they had. I actually looked, and they have more. They have like more verbal reactions too. This was just a funny thing. Anyway. So first we have Kim Gyuri. I don't know if I'm saying that right because they kind of said it really quick, like Gyuri. She is 28 and a fashion and beauty model. So what did we think about her?
So she was a lot of fun. She's beautiful. I mean, they're all beautiful, but she was beautiful. And I thought she was going to be like, we had a contestant last season 2, who was one of the most beautiful women like I've ever seen. And I think she just intimidated the hell out of the men, and she didn't get picked. Like, it was crazy. And I thought that was going to happen to Gyuri because she didn't get picked the first day. And then she turned out to be super strong personality, you know, fights with a serial killer smile. Like, she was a lot of fun. I loved her.
Yeah, I liked her. I mean, she definitely had a little interaction with Minu, which we can get to later, that I didn't love her in. But then part of me is like, look, I mean, she's just being herself. I mean, he might not have liked it.
And like I said, strong personality.
Yeah, I was like, you know what, girl, do your thing. Feel how you want to feel, you know? She was beautiful. Oh my God.
So I was into her when she was doing like the fighting, and we got to see like a new side of her, like the killer. She lost me at the end. Like, I went from like 10 out of 10, like she's rad, to like I was done. Like, honestly, I don't even have like I was like, no, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean,
I was like, what are you hoping to achieve here besides your, like, I was like, save your pride. Your pride,
right?
Like, you want to walk out with pride.
I didn't want to bring that up yet because she totally tries to cover herself. But it's like we all just saw.
Yeah, we all know what happened, girl. We all know what happened. But and Minu was just so, like, he's just such a sweet puppy. So I like.
Yeah, it was a big no. Like, actually, like, what? And I mean, I'm not trying to come for her because she's a woman, but like, I'd have to say that like that was like one of the like probably like the worst thing I've seen on Singles Inferno.
It was a turnoff. Yeah. Okay, and then we have Choi Hae-sun. She is 26. A bioinformatics major. I don't even know what that is.
No.
At UHA Women's University. And in honesty, I didn't even list all the stuff that she like does and her accomplishments. It's like a whole freaking list. This woman is clearly brilliant and accomplished, and yeah.
Yeah. So bioinformatics is an interdisciplinary field that combines biology, computer science, and information technology to analyze and interpret biological data.
Wow. Okay, girl.
We're just impressed. We're like, seriously, you're smart.
You're real smart, Pam. She reminded me of my favorite from last season, which was Inadine.
She was a lot like Inadine. You're right.
She was strong, confident, took no bullshit. I mean, I loved her throughout, but I was afraid she was going to be a little bit more of a doormat for Iguan Hee, like some other women were doing, which we'll get to. And I was so proud of her at the end.
I left with the biggest crush on her, and apparently I just have been reading a little bit, and apparently like the netizen, like the Korean netizen reaction to her is incredibly high. Like, people love her.
Good.
As they should. I mean, she's brilliant. And I feel like she just, the entire time, the sense I got from her is, I know my worth. I know my worth.
Yep.
And she maintained a dignity through the entire thing that was frankly striking, and I'm impressed. And she's freaking beautiful. Like, are you kidding me? Oh, God.
So, yes, I felt like knew her worth, leaned into it, could have leaned into it even more, honestly, for me. But overall, I mean, like, this is what I'm saying when we're talking about caliber of women versus caliber of men. I'm like, how do we have like 10 out of fucking 10
Yeah.
And then like,
where are the male chemistry majors? What are we getting?
yeah, like I want to see the caliber of men lift to like that game.
I agree. So then we have Choi Minu, 24. He's a model. He was the baby. And he was a little bit of the dark horse. He was very quiet at the beginning. And I was kind of like, he's really boring.
Mm-hmm.
But then, he's one of those guys, which they said it on the show, but I also like, my husband is actually a guy like this. In a group, he's much more quiet. He's, and he's not like uncomfortable. He's just really content to just like observe. But then 101, he's a great conversationalist and he can talk a lot. Reminded me a lot of Minu, and and he was so cute, just like a puppy.
And even one-on-one, he was still a little shy in the beginning.
Yeah.
And like he's an introvert. You can tell. Like he even said, like, sometimes I don't know what to say. I get uncomfortable, but he was very self-aware about that, which I really, really liked. He was adorable. And when he did get comfortable, he played no games.
No. And that's the thing. Even he went to Gyuri and was like very honest. He was like, my feelings have changed. I'm just letting you know. He didn't play a game with her.
He wasn't like, I'm still deciding. I'm still thinking about.
He did not do that. He did not do that. He was like, I'm just letting you know. And then she treated him like a disobedient child. And he actually still maintained total dignity through that conversation. He didn't lash out at her either. It was really impressive.
He was very
at 24.
Very respectful. Yep.
Yes.
Very respectful.
And the other thing too is that like, you know, being quiet or being more like, he was not only the youngest, every other man on that show was over 30. And so even though he couldn't share his age, they all looked over 30 too.
They did.
So,
and he knew.
Yeah, he knew. And so, I mean, in some ways it was like, even if he wasn't going to like lead with the age because they couldn't, he knew he was the baby.
Yeah, I agree. I think he knew the whole time.
Yeah. And that's why at the end, when he was like calling them all Hyungs and Noonas,
that
like in his heart,
cute.
that's what he had the whole time going on.
Right.
Yeah. Oh my God. When they started calling like Iguan Hee Hyung and all Parkman Q kept calling. Oh, it's so cute. I loved it. Okay. And then we have Jin Suk. He's 31 and he's the owner of like multiple bakeries. Like he's got like 2 or 3 bakeries. I think it's Casanello or something like that. I follow him on Instagram now. And his cakes look great. And when we go to Seoul, we are visiting
100%
his bakers. So yeah, what do we think about him?
He was an absolute joy.
Delight.
An absolute delight. So like fun, funny, and personable. I loved when he called Hajong on her, like looking up at you with her chin down. Like his imitation of her was spot on. Like,
so good.
Just so fun. Also another guy who didn't play games. I mean, he was a little bit elusive with Min Young in the later episodes, but rightfully so, because she was playing with him. So I have no problem with him being a little bit standoffish with her until it was time to make a decision, because she only wanted what she couldn't have once it was gone.
Right.
So he was great.
Yeah, I found him incredibly charming, very funny, really great personality. I mean, truly, like he's like a guy that I would want to be friends with him.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I was on that show, I'd be like, can we like meet up later? Like, I just want to be your friend. I want to like have a drink with you. Like, yeah, him imitating Hajong was my favorite. I loved it. He was so good at it. And even just, there were so many times that he just made really good quips. He was very witty.
And never punching down either. Like I do want to say, like him teasing Hajong was all like in good fun. And
she thought it was funny.
She thought it was funny.
I agree. That is a good point. He did never punch down.
Yeah. I mean, I had a crush on him. I think out of all of them, but you know, there was one other that I thought was like super babe too, but like, I really just I think out of all of them, like that would have been my pick. He had the wry sense of humor. He seemed like a good guy. He did hold on to his grudge a little longer than he needed to with Min Young, like to like make her pay. But honestly, I just like, I'm not normally into like the big beefy look either.
Me either. He wouldn't.
But I was like,
he wore it well though. He did.
Like, and he was he felt like dad vibes, but in a good way, like daddy vibes.
Daddy. And when he walked during the race, when he's like, "Fuck it, my knee hurts."
He's like, "I got bad knees, dude," and I was like, I actually love that. I was like, "Don't run. Who cares?"
There was nothing like performative about him.
No, he was like, "I'm not doing this. I have bad knees," and I loved it. And like, I liked too. His hair was never really done. He kind of just like had a cut and he just like let it like that. For some reason, the 2 black studs in his ears did something to me. I don't know. Just there was something about him. Well, I think it was just his personality. It was like the type of guy that like first glance you're like, I mean, sure, he's cute and manly, but it's his personality.
His whole package.
Yeah. So speaking of his lady or something, An Min-young, 26, owner, which I feel like maybe they mentioned it, but when I looked her up, she's the owner, not just the instructor of a Pilates studio. Okay.
I think she said that.
Which I think is obviously a big accomplishment.
I think she said manager, which made me want, she's like, I'm an instructor and a manager of a Pilates studio. So I don't think it was translated correctly that she actually owned it. Yeah.
But she does, which I want to point that in there because that's pretty cool. And I think it's like more than one. So good for her.
These are some really good entrepreneurs for people in their late 20s and early
I know,
30s.
right?
I mean, well, remember so this is what you missed, Amy. First season was everyone's a CEO. Like
everyone was a CEO, and we're like, CEO of what? Like,
it'd be like, I'm a CEO of my life. That's basically the
I'm CEO of my cat. Like it was hysterical. It's like they just wanted to be called CEO, so they just like found a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought Min-young I actually loved her in the very first episode. Loved her, and I loved her on her date with Jin-suk, that when they went to Paradise. She lost me a little as she went along because I do think she just wasn't, I think she was trying to play around a little bit and then realized that wasn't the best idea. I still found her sweet, and she seemed like a really good friend to the other girls.
Yeah, I will say I didn't like the fact that she was all of a sudden all claws in for Jin-suk after somebody else liked him and after he showed interest to somebody else. Because in the beginning he said, "I'm not really interested in anyone else. I'm not interested in like talking to everybody." I mean, they have such a short time there, and he's like, "I've got my sights set on you." Mm-hmm. And she's like, "But you should go out with other people, and I should go out with other people." And that was her suggestion. And then when he did, she's like, "Oh, damn, he's showing interest." Yeah. Because, he's a fun guy, and who's not going to like him and be charmed by him. Mm-hmm. I didn't hate her by any means, but she definitely was not my favorite I have nothing wrong with any of the people on the island wanting to talk to more than one person. That's not where I have issue. Same. It was where she went all in on him only after somebody else showed interest.
Right.
And he called her on it. He's like, he did. He called her on it. So
he's very aware. Yeah. Very smart.
Yes. And I mean, I guess to me, I'm like, who? Like, who were you going to go for? I mean, you've got the 10, you've got there's not that many 10 dudes.
No. Who else?
And you've got one of the top dude. He is the whole package, and he's into you. So I was like, was it that it was just too easy at first? So she took it for granted. So I was like, look at the field and be like, thank fucking God. I got in lucky. My Pilates ass worked.
She's like, it was brotherly, sisterly. I'm like, I don't hop on my brother's back anymore.
Yeah, I don't hop on my brother's. No,
I do not do that.
And the vibe between them did not feel brotherly and sisterly at all.
I was think she just told people that so no one locked her in, but they locked her in anyway.
Yeah, and I don't know. He just was he was the most popular dude. Everyone wanted to hang with him just to the girls, not to even date him, just to be like, let me come to you with my boy problems.
Yes. Mm-hmm. He was just fun and easy to talk to.
Yeah, I don't know. I just if he locked me up right away, I'd be like, hell yeah, amen. Let's go. Let's go eat those little
let's go to Paradise every night.
And then you find out he's an owner of multiple bakeries and looks like that. So he's gonna bake you shit and come home and bounce quarters off of his titties. Come on.
I know.
Whole package.
Okay, so we are going to get to this contestant. We're going to talk a little bit more about him later. I'm talking about are Lee Kwon-hee, 36, professional basketball player. Look,
let's not even talk about him right now because he gets his own
question, which all we're doing is playing into what Singles Inferno gave us, because now he's getting his own question, but I don't care. So we'll get to him in a minute. Then we have Sun Won-ik. He's 31 and he is a realtor. I need to say this about Won-ik. Very accomplished. Like, if we are talking about a man here, he's not a bioinformatics major, but like a realtor in Korea, I think is probably a pretty prestigious job. So he seems like he has his shit together. Was he a little boring? Yeah.
He's a lot boring.
He is, but I was kind of like...
And then he monopolized Xian on purpose.
He did, I know, but I was sort of like, I know. I did think he's a good dude.
I was excited for him when he won the squat thing, because I was like, all right, the underdog here, right?
Yeah.
But then I just kind of lost it after that with the boringness.
He was boring.
And the boringness, and I mean, I'm sorry, I'm sure in real life he's a great guy, but on the show, the way that they edited it, you know, and the way that he's portrayed is that he was boring and a little bit manipulative of keeping Xian and Minwoo away from each other.
Yeah. He is also an avid marathon runner. So makes sense why he was like good at the kind of the squat thing and then also the running
race.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got nothing else to add.
Oh,
I just loved Xian's face when like he would sit and talk to her. I was like, do you not pick up what she's telling? Because her face was amazing. She just every time looked like
she didn't even smile at him.
No, I was like,
the host are like, she has no poker face.
Yeah, like read the room, buddy. She's like not into you. I will say his hair could not stand the way he did his hair.
Yeah.
And it always looked really greasy. It didn't need to. Like, he's clearly doing something wrong. Because I saw then a photo of him in like a photo shoot that like Netflix did, and a professional did his hair. He looked 50% hotter.
Well, now I have to go look now.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, that like curl, I don't know, the hair. Anyway. And then we have Yoon Ha-bin, 31, and he's an actor. He had like a very bit part in My Demon.
Mm-hmm. Oh, did he?
Mm-hmm.
I have to go back to that still. I'm on like episode 9.
Yeah, me too. But yeah, that's really the only interesting.
So look, here's the thing. He was cute, I thought.
He was too. Super cute.
And every time he had a chance to do something, he did nothing. And his only date to paradise was alarmingly bad. Like
alarming. I've never seen a date that bad.
At one point I thought he was going to like unbutton his pants and unzip it and be like, I'm so full. I'm just gonna. And then she's like, are you going to ask me I brought you here because you were like, I'm interested in you. And then you're like, he was like, actually, I'm just so comfortable. I have no questions.
No, I think he drinks too much or something. Like,
there was something wrong.
Like, cause first of all.
But he knew that he was not her first choice too. Like, he knew that she asked him because she couldn't ask Kwon-hee.
Yeah, but he could have like tried.
Or at least be like an interesting person. Like, okay, well, we're together. Let's have, like, I'm on like, people will watch me and I'm an actor. I'm trying to do my brand. I want to look like I'm a normal. He just looked like a kook.
He looked like an absolute kook. Like his brand, value was not enhanced by Singles Inferno. Okay. We have Park Min-kyu, 34. He is a police officer and rescue diver with Korea Coast Guard Sea Special Rescue Team. Oh, Min-kyu. And his slow-mo intro when we found out what Park Min-kyu did, and they did like the slow-mo shot of the doors opening and him coming out in his uniform, I gasped.
But that was the most exciting thing that happened to him on the show, was his intro.
It's true.
I love him. He's gorgeous. He's an absolute sweetheart.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't get it. Like, we'll talk about it. I don't get the Kwon-hee effect. But I think that like nobody knew had a chance, coming into that fold when.
I think he was almost just too nice of a guy. And that's a shame. I really think that he's a great dude, but that he isn't necessarily like good on TV, meaning he doesn't like make good TV. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think he was
not
just
his fault.
Yeah,
not,
he wasn't actively weird. Like, but not in a good way. Like, I mean, it was like actively, like, I was like, ooh, I've got the ick, but I don't even know why. He was just a lovely man.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, he wasn't like super witty. He wasn't, he was just hot.
He was just nice.
I would like to see hair up.
Me too. Yeah, I'd like to see. He's another one that I think he could have used a better haircut.
Yeah, the
I still
haircut
thought
did
he
him
was
no
beautiful,
favors.
though.
Oh.
I mean, like Min-woo, they did his hair up once, and I was like, "Oh, can we have more of that, please?"
And when he got like wet and he just shoved it back, like and I was like, why are you not wearing your hair like that? Like people
all the time.
Come on.
Minkyu is so that's my, if I had to just go on like who was just like the babest of the babes and seemed genuinely nice and probably would just like you into tomorrow.
He would take care of you so well too. Like just take care of you. Can you imagine?
Yeah, the whole package.
I think the problem with, I mean, and we're not saying that we don't like nice guys, but like because of his niceness, he didn't actively pursue anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But even though he did like Yuri, but he like just kind of hung back while she had her thing for.
And then
I
know.
But then Yuri, I felt like I was always curious, like why she was like, well, Minwoo instead, because I'm like,
she had her chance at the beginning. She had her chance like numerous times with him. And then all of a sudden at the end, she like then took a chance. It was very weird. Okay, so we have Yoo Shihun, 27, a model. So first of all, she was like runner-up Miss Korea in like 2022.
She's beautiful.
Yes.
She really should be like just send her as a Korean ambassador, like everywhere. She is beautiful. I don't know if she had like went to etiquette school, but
yes.
I felt like her manners, like the little finger in front of her mouth, like her manners were crazy. And I also did feel like genuineness coming from her. I could tell she like tried a little too hard at the beginning, but like, I think that's kind of natural where she was like, oh, I could eat these carrots every day. I'm like, really? Could you? Raw carrots? But, I still liked her. I
liked her a lot.
Yeah.
I thought she was adorable.
She was not a runner-up. She was Miss Korea.
Oh, she was?
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah,
I opened her Instagram, 2022 Miss Korea.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I mean, she's
put her in a hanbok
she's stunningly
and, like,
beautiful.
Yeah. Send her on some ambassadorship around the world in a hanbok because she's beautiful.
Every episode I was like, is she prettier today than she was last episode? Like,
and I was
ridiculous.
like, get the models belong together.
Me too. I was like, yeah. Even though she was as Nuna.
That made it so
I loved
hotter.
it. I loved when she found that out. And she was like, oh my God.
And then he's like, I like older women.
And it's like, we know. We could tell. Like, couldn't you? Like, I could tell. He just seems a little like an old soul. I mean, that's just
everybody on the show was older than him, though. So he had to like older women.
True.
Somebody wrote to us in the comments, like in like DMs, that they didn't feel any romance in this show. And I hear a bit what they were saying, but I'm going to say I felt romance between Minwoo and Shun.
They were my favorite couple.
They gave me like belly flutters together.
And how they never ever went to, the only couple so far in Singles Inferno history who have not gone to paradise together and paired up.
Yep.
And there is a lot of rumors they're still together. Like people believe.
I would hope
believe
so.
Why would you not? Both of them are beautiful and they seem very like temperamentally suited. I was like, it would not shock me if they like actually were a couple.
She was so smitten with him and it was adorable. And he would like, they would just giggle together, but it didn't feel awkward. It literally was like, oh my God, I'm giggling because I'm next to my crush. It was so cute.
I'm looking at her Instagram and she looks like an anime character in a good way. I mean, that complimentary. She's like weirdly perfectly beautiful.
I know. So I missed this one, but Yoon Ha-jung, 26, and she's an office worker at a medical clothing company. Look, Ha-jung, for me, I would be friends with her. I want to go drinking with her and gossip. That is, can you imagine? She is clearly the best gossiper, and she would be so fun. I adored her. I hated that she was under Lee Kwon-hee's spell.
Yeah.
Ugh, me too. I
cheered when she took him to task, when they were sitting alone, and she basically was like, when she basically said, my looks fetch respect. You need to respect me. And I was like, can you tell him, girl?
But
oh
then
my
she
gosh.
backpedaled on all of
She did.
that.
I wish
that
she
was
didn't.
so disappointing.
I know, but I'm just remembering that great moment.
I know.
I know.
Because I thought because it was so early on, I was like, yes, somebody's going to put Gwon-hee in his place like immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And then she apologized backwards and forwards and then just kept reminding him that she apologized. And
because he gaslit her so bad.
He did. And I just, that broke my heart.
I know. I still liked her. I loved her and Jin-suk just like sitting on the beach, like gossiping. And when she was like, why wouldn't you tell me what he says? He's like, I'm not telling you. And she's like, ugh. Like it was just, Ha-jung was great. I really liked her. I hope she's just doing great right now. Like, I hope she's just like enjoying the after effect of Singles Inferno.
I have something I need to get off my chest, and this might just be the best place to do it.
Okay. So one more person, but go ahead.
Okay. Well, about her.
Okay, go ahead then. Yeah.
Did you feel like one of the hosts was possibly falling in love with her throughout the entire time?
I forgot. He did. They all loved her.
But Kyu-hyun was dying. Like every time she showed up and did anything,
mm-hmm.
I felt like hearts were just flying out of his eyes to the point that I looked him up to be like, is he dating anyone? Because I fucking shipped this so hard.
Yeah.
And the only good thing I could find was an interview where he's like, I would like to get married within the next 5 years. And I'm like, well, there is an office worker who is going to give you that. I felt like he was like giddy for her.
I think he really liked her spirit. Like he really liked.
I think he liked a lot.
Yeah, I think he liked everything. I agree. I
hope he slipped her his digits after because I'm into it.
Yeah, go into the DMs, Kihyun.
Yeah, it was the first time I've ever super shipped the first time I've ever even considered a host being interested. So for me, that was like I was very invested in what I was making up in my head.
Okay, and last but not least, we have Cho Min-ji. She is 26 and she's an economics major, also at UHA.
Which is so awkward. They're both
women's university. I know. But she was like, her dream is to be a TV anchor.
Yes.
So, good for her. You know.
Okay, this is what I just need to get this off my chest.
Yeah, go ahead.
Her dream is to be a TV anchor. So I'm thinking, okay, you're all in these shows to like advance your brand.
Right.
So you're going to act like a fucking goober.
And cry over
and
the guy.
And then take Min-kyu's holy shirt off his sexy ass body and wipe your fucking face with it. And then go have she was like in a teddy with Kwon-hee on their paradise trip. And then with Min-kyu,
her clothing.
And then with Min-kyu, she's like basically in like dirty sweats, like that. I
can't. Yeah, exactly. She's like, I'm going to change into like my pajamas. And then she changes and it's literally a teddy and she's walking around a teddy. Yeah. And then poor Min-kyu got sweatpants and no makeup.
And Min-kyu is like, I was so confused. Like, why are you not banging? I mean, even if you were like, I don't know. And he's like, well, I'm a Coast Guard, like captain. I'd be like, I mean,
it's crazy. I mean, what would have been great is I think it's crazy she cried, but if she did cry, then Min-kyu's like, here you go. I'm going to be here for you. Here's my shirt. And then she's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
He's the dude. Then she goes to paradise.
Gross. She was like poking him, like when he's on
a date with somebody else.
I was like, and so when you want your career to be something in the public eye, I'm like, you just made yourself look really.
She should have known better. And so apparently she's getting some backlash and she had to like turn comments off her Instagram. And she did post something on Instagram that basically, I'm paraphrasing, but she basically said, it was interesting to see myself through other people's eyes. And she's like, I realize that there are some things I might have done that people don't agree with. And I'm really going to analyze it and try to be a better person. So like, she was like, basically, I can take, I hear your criticism and blah, 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 blah.
I mean, that's nice and self-aware.
But the Korean netizens are savage.
Yeah,
and so even like, if you know you're going to be on a show like this, but also what I've heard contestants speak about is that like and it's weird because like all the cameras are there, but they said it becomes very immersive. Like you get sucked into like the whole like psychology of it.
I'm sure. And even though they're only there for like a week, but like when you are with these people 24 hours a day, like I imagine that the bonds form pretty quickly. Cause I'm like, she was that upset about Gwon-hee after like a couple days.
Crazy.
It's time for everyone's favorite part of every episode, which is our K-pop Rec of the Week. Megan, what do you have for us this week?
So this week, I'm going to recommend Love 119 by RIIZE, and it's spelled RIIZE, all capital letters. They are a newer group with SM Entertainment. I don't know, for some reason I wasn't like super into them when they first debuted, which was very recent, but now I'm just starting to really fall down the rabbit hole. The center, his name is Wanbin, and he is ethereal. I'm really hooked, and he's 21, but that's okay. And I like the song. I like all their songs, but Love 119 has been in my head all day. And I like the video. They did a lot of acting in this music video, which good for them. So yeah, check it out. It is Love 119 by RIIZE.
If you enjoy our podcast, you have our patrons to thank, at least in part. Afternoona Delight Patreon allows us to keep creating content for y'all to enjoy. Thank you so much to everyone who is supporting us there. And not to brag, but our Patreon community is pretty awesome. And you can join at a tier that feels good to you. Gain access to fun perks like K-drama posts, monthly Patreon-only bonus podcasts, and even a live K-drama support group on Zoom. Because we know firsthand what it's like to have no one to talk to about those crazy plot twists, amazing characters, and all those feelings. And look, no one should have to walk that walk alone. So learn more by visiting afternoonadelight.com. That's www.afternoonadelight.com. And hey, while you're on the website, you can check out Afternoona Delight podcast merch, find links to book recommendations, bop along to our K-pop Recs, glow up your skin with K-merch Recs, find all of our social media, and a link to our email so you can send us recommendations or feedback. And hey, while you're at it, why don't you pop over to Spotify or Apple Podcasts and leave us a 5-star review? It really helps with our discoverability. 감사합니다.
Let's get into the changes this season. Unlike previous seasons, in season 3, there were 2 infernos, 2 separate islands that didn't match up until episode 2. Inferno seemed to be a little more rough. Like they build it as Inferno is going to be much more Inferno. And I would say it was at the beginning. They were served, like raw carrots and canned meat, although that seemed to like go away a little bit. I guess they didn't want to make them do it for 8 days. I don't know. And as Leah said, Paradise was different because multiple hotels were used. So what did you think of the changes? I think the biggest one was 2 and what did you think of the 2 Infernos?
Okay, first of all, I just have to say, was Inferno really rough? Like really?
I mean, it still was.
They have electricity. Everybody's hair tools work.
Still the flat iron.
The only thing rough about Inferno were the female contestants not ever wearing sensible shoes to walk on a rocky beach. Like, never, ever over it.
The kitten heels.
I couldn't stand it. Every time they went to Paradise, the long walk to the helicopter, not because the helicopter was that far, but because the women had to step so gingerly across the rocks while holding
newborn
on.
foals every time.
Seriously. I couldn't. You
could tell the men were like, put on some fucking sneakers so we can just get to this helicopter, Jesus.
But the change, like the 2 Infernos, as far as like the way they found out about it, which was like the morning after the first dates, all of a sudden an announcement came out and said like, you're going home with someone else. Mm-hmm. And that was really kind of crazy. And then to get in a car with like a new guy and find out like, where did you come from? He's like, I came from Inferno. And she's like, I came from Inferno. And that was pretty crazy.
Yeah, that was really fun. That was a twist I did not see coming. So I love being surprised. So when she got in the car with this new guy, I was like, oh, but he did seem like freaked out. This was Pacman Q. And then when he was like, I came from Inferno, I like let out a gasp. I was like, oh my gosh. Like I was surprised and I loved it. I really, really did. I thought it was a really cool twist. I was a little worried they were going to keep them separate and only, and like constantly mix them.
I thought that too.
And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like that. And so I was really glad when they completely combined them, but I feel like they combined them on the rocky island.
They were on the same island. They were at different ends of the same island.
No, they were on different islands.
Mm-mm,
I
different
thought they were
islands.
in the same one.
Because
those
remember,
islands-
they're on
Yeah.
a beach, and they were like, I was in that island over there.
Yeah.
They pointed to.
For some reason I thought they were on separate ends of the same island.
No, it was
Yeah.
such a tiny island. They would have like stumbled across each
It was a
other.
little.
really
They were
quickly.
so little, but
I would. I'd be into that though, of like two Inferno camps, so then like they'd have to like hike to get to each other. I would.
that would be
into
amazing.
that.
Like, who's willing to hike? Like, because those girls are going to be like, not their kitten heels.
Yeah.
Okay, so the games are always a favorite of ours, or they have been. Previous seasons had the men wrestling in sand pits, and this was like all out. Like, they got injured, like
There
seriously
was blood.
injured. There was blood. So yeah, what did you think of the games from this season, and any memorable moments?
So I brought up before that I think that there were less games this season than in the past. And I kind of missed that. Like, I did love the squat competition. That was badass. But, and I liked Jinsuk walking during the long distance race.
Right.
But what I didn't like was that the men got to compete in these like strength and endurance contests, and the women got to compete in like basically like hand to hand, like petty combat,
Insane.
like ripping
Yeah.
hats and tails off of it. Like, it was
ripping tails off.
ripping tails off of each other. It was, or like, plain chicken, one-legged chicken. And it was demeaning.
I thought so too. And all the men just stood there and watched them, and I was like, "Oof."
Where they get to squat holding a woman.
They get to look manly.
Yes.
Look, the sand pit was entertaining, but I think it's good they did away with that, because those
That was
men
rough.
got hurt, and I'm totally fine with that. I agree. I missed the games. I wanted more games. And also, why don't we have games that are like, I don't know, like a puzzle, like not an actual, like, I mean, just like
I know what you
something
mean.
that's like
escape room type
Yeah.
stuff.
Like,
That'd
yeah,
be
like
actually fun to do, and it's like where they have to work
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
Like, can we have something that's like an intellectual puzzle game? Yeah, the games for the women this year, and it was like in that same spot with like a circle and this, like,
And what if you like sent a whole team to Inferno? Like, you weren't paired up necessarily, but you went as a team and then, see what happens kind of thing.
yeah.
Oh, you mean in Paradise?
Yeah. Sorry. Sent a team to Paradise. Yeah.
They probably just don't want to have that. They probably want to control like finding out the personal information, because that's like one of the
True.
But yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I don't know. Just like, again, it was actually a complaint of ours last season. We're like, can we be more inventive with the games?
the games got worse.
I feel like it got worse. I do have to say, the running one. Okay, so I have this like weird thing about men's running gait. Like, it's like I think I've mentioned it before on this podcast, but like, I get the ick if like if their running looks weird. That's so mean. But like, I have this thing. It's like a weird thing. That was really the only time I found Guanhee attractive. He looked so good running. I was like, he is a professional athlete. He's got a perfect running gait. He looks great. And poor Minu, I was like, buddy, you don't run.
No,
He never
doesn't.
run.
No.
He's never run a day in his life.
Nor should he.
You know what? You're too pretty to run, Minu. I know. Or Minu. Anyway. All right. Speaking of Guanhee, like, let's talk about him. Okay. He accounted for about 70% of this season's screen time. That is a number I made up. Like, that's not, that says no.
We don't have any hard facts to
We
back
have
that
no
up.
factual basis.
It felt like
but,
it never ended.
yeah, but are you gonna fight me on 70%? I don't think so. And so, look, what are your thoughts on him?
He was insufferable, but like in the best way, like as in I want to throttle him, but I also can't look away. Like, it was good marketing to like be like, what the hell is this guy going to do next? And that's like what all the hosts were saying too, is like, what is Guanhee going to do next? But he came off as insecure, even though he claimed to be like the most confident when they introduced themselves in the beginning. Like, if women didn't approach him first, he wrote them off, or, like Leah was saying earlier, like basically gaslit them to like express their feelings to him and to say how they felt about him. And then when they would ask him for the same, he'd be like, I'm still deciding. I don't know. The fact that I'm pretty much floored that there were 3 women who stood up for him at the end after all that he did.
He didn't deserve it.
That was disappointing. That was very disappointing to me. No, he didn't deserve it. He didn't.
okay, so I found some more information about him. So I just want to say some things. So there is some speculation that a lot of these women did recognize him.
That's what I think. How did you not? Because
Yeah.
Okay.
So he is he's not the best professional basketball player, but he is one of the most well-known. He's very outspoken in the press. So I think a lot of the press is familiar with him.
he knew who he was 100%. No doubt in my mind.
Yeah. He's been on Running Man, which is a very popular reality show from Korea. He is he's in the top 10 highest paid Korean basketball players. And he also was born wealthy. He's like his family, he's like from a chaebol family. So he was already, he might even be known for that as well. I mean, you have to remember, Korea's not a big country. And he makes a lot of money, but then he, again, was probably wealthy to begin with. I did see he did try to be drafted into the NBA in 2010, but he went undrafted. And that, so apparently, I didn't know this. So, this article says that it's from the Korea Herald, that professional basketball in Korea is mildly liked, as in it's not as popular as soccer or football, as they call it, or baseball, especially the K leagues. So he actually told his coach, "Hey, I'm going to go on the show and I'm going to fill the stands." And the coach was like, "All right." And he also tried out for season 2, but didn't make it.
So I read really quickly in an interview. It wasn't that he didn't make it; it was scheduling conflicts.
Oh, well, by he didn't make it, I mean he was not able to be on it for one reason or another. But he had wanted to be on it. So here's my thing with Kwon. I actually didn't find him very attractive throughout the whole thing. And I wanted to strongly dislike him, but there was something about him that never stepped over the line for me to fully, like, really hate him. He was frustrating to me, but he still had this likable charm that I think he knows that about himself, and he knows how to ride the edge. I really do. And I have to be honest, the end was very funny when he was like, I've made one woman cry and I've made 2 get mad at me. And he's like, maybe I'm the problem.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did like that he's like, the common denominator here is me.
And that's the thing. There were moments of that where he was self-aware that I appreciated. And I actually don't want to go so far as to say he's toxic. Do I think he's relationship red flags? Absolutely. Hundreds of red flags. But there was just something about him that never stepped over the line. If he would have been American, I bet he would have been terrible. I think there's some sort of like Korean manners that kept him on the edge. I
liked when she called him pathetic because he was pathetic. Yeah, Haesung was like, he's pathetic, but I kind of like him. And I mean, the thing is, he was 10 years older than her.
I know.
She was like, I'm kind of taking you by the fucking hand here.
I know.
So, okay, just a really quick call out to when Megan and I watched My Dearest. I went off on a character who was like shitty the whole drama, and then at the end cries, and we're meant to be like, oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
Gwani, honestly, his tears did change my opinion of him a little bit, because I felt like he did have some sort of like fucking, I don't know if it's like a life change.
I think he did.
But he at least touched some part. Like, yeah, there was something that happened to him, because I mean, he was weeping. He had the summer camp experience. He
did. He really did. He really did.
He did. He saw Haesung cry, and I think seeing her cry really put him over the edge. And there was I really think he kind of had some epiphanies about himself sitting there.
Yeah. And I am glad that he was able to be like, hi, I'm the problem. It's me. Like,
yeah.
And I hope that when he leaves and goes out into the world, I'm like, does he just do this all the fucking time?
I know. I know. That's like, was it for the show, or is this what he's like? And that's what's hard to know.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I did read some articles that he's been like this in the press. Like this is how he is. He's always kind of been he rides kind of an edge when he talks to the media, at basketball games and stuff. So this is his personality, apparently, like the people know.
And I mean, I liked parts of his personality. I liked when he would like be a little weird and jokey or kind of odd, But I mean, my one thing was that Minji was like, I just felt like she was like, he's a famous person. I'm going to like zip hard
She knew.
for that.
She knew he was famous and rich, and that's what she was going for. Like, that's what I think. Sorry, Minji, but that's what I think.
I mean, 1,000%.
Yeah.
Because I felt like, and then, God, I just blanked on his name. The Daegu Bakery owner.
Jin-suk.
Jin-suk. I felt like they actually had some chemistry. And then she was like, bye, I'm off to like Gwani.
I know. I think she knew. And I think Ha Jong knew. I actually saw that there was some people went digging and saw that she had liked some of his Instagram posts like 3 years ago.
Yeah, that
so
makes sense to me.
She knew. And I mean, if you're in Korea and we're a mild fan of basketball, I think you would know who Lee Kwon-hee is. He's
like a C-list celebrity.
I think I mean, he's no Sun Heung-min. Okay. Or even some of like the other really good soccer players. I think they're known a lot better. It's a little bit more of a popular sport. I will say when Hae-sun, or whenever anyone got mad at him, he did this thing where he'd blow air in his cheeks and then his lower lip would come out and he looked like Captain RIIZE. And
I could see that. I could see that.
It made me laugh. It really made me laugh because he got that look every time someone called him on his stuff. And you could tell he was like, oh crap. Like, I mean, when
his sunglasses,
I
hated them so much.
They were so ugly.
Look, he was fun. I think we gave him too much time, but the problem is I don't think that there was anyone else really doing much of interest.
Yeah.
He was the television.
And he knew he was going to be. Like, I mean, he went on that show being like, I'm going to entertain everyone. And you know what? You did, Kwon-hee. I mean, truly,
I feel like the entertaining. Especially the female hosts,
right,
were done. But I also loved how done they were.
We're going to get to the hosts, but yes, I agree. So yeah, look, I mean, I can't shit on Kwon-hee too much because there was just something about him that kept me like very, very interested and a little charmed. Not in a way that I would date him.
He was entertaining. I would not have chosen him.
So but contestants have been seen at his basketball games, so this is really cool. So Ha Jong went, Ha Bin went, Jin Suk was there with Min Young. I saw Minu and Wanik there. Like, they've been coming to his games, which I freaking love. Like, I love.
Oh, they have?
Mm-hmm.
That's cute.
Like, multiple cast members have been going.
That's sweet.
And I really love that. And when Hae-sun told him like it was, she was just like, her death glare, I would have wilted when it was like silence and she was just glaring at him on the picnic table. I would have wilted. But yeah, she was great. He was great. There are rumors they're still together. I guess we'll see. Okay, so do you have any favorite moments?
Everything with Min, Woo, and Sion's little darling romance.
Yeah.
They were so cute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we already kind of talked about it. I loved Hae-sun telling Kwon-hee that she was done proving herself to him, like towards the end there, when he was still trying to, gaslight her about Minji. She's like, look, dude, I told you my feelings have never wavered. I'm not fluffing your ego anymore. Like, take me or leave me, but make up your damn mind. I don't want someone who's still thinking about someone else.
Oh,
I love that she did that.
My heart grew 3 sizes.
Yep.
Like the Grinch when she did that.
Yep. That was a big highlight.
For me, it was on all the women started gossiping about Kwon-hee. They sat in the hut and just read him the riot act. And I thought
did
it was
too, except then they all like went back for more.
They did, but I don't care.
Okay.
I agree they did. But in that moment, they got it all out. Like Ha Jong just like went full bore. Oh, I loved it. I thought it was hysterical. Favorite couple?
I mean, I'm a dead horse.
Yeah, no, but same.
Is this all of our favorites?
Minu and Xian.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing though, is I did really find Min Young and Jin Suk really cute too, but I don't feel like we got okay, I got really annoyed with her and kind of like fell out of interest. But later, like once they kind of like leveled back, I was into it. And I actually could have gone with more of that, except for I was kind of like the push pull that kind of kept happening. Like, I'm curious how much is like edited too. Like, I'm like, was that the whole time? Although at the end, she did seem like she was shitting her pants. So I'm like, maybe it was. Like, I don't think she actually she did not appear confident that he was going to pick her.
So the commentary panel this year consisted of the same panel from previous seasons. TV personality Hong Jin-kyung, island actress Lee Da-hee, Super Junior member Ki Hyun, and former Phantom member Han Hae. In addition to the cast was Kim Jin-young, also known as Dex, who was a contestant on season number 2 and a fan favorite of the Afternoonas. What are your thoughts on the panel, and why was Dex and his baby blue open shirt with his tattoo showing the real star of the show?
Seriously, that sweater, like, I don't think I have another article of clothing that I ever want to see on that man, unless it's nothing. Like, that sweater with his tattoo peeking out of the V of that sweater, I just can't. Like, I really...
Like, leave the camera on him, please.
Seriously.
I mean, so I watched season 2 again recently because my daughter has become my 8-year-old. Don't judge me. She loves it, and it's not that bad.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
This is like G-rated.
Extremely G-rated.
And so we went through, I didn't really avidly watch, but I mean, I watched parts of season 1 and parts of season 2 during winter break while she was like around me and stuff. And so we watched his first, like how he was introduced, and I'd forgotten like the camera loved him so much, and then everyone shit their pants, and then they did that challenge where they harnessed them all up.
Oh my gosh.
And he just dragged 2 of them, got the flag, stood up, and then just kind of like casually threw it over his shoulder. Like, and I was
the
like,
hottest.
So hot.
It's the best moment in Singles Inferno yet. It's the best moment.
It is. And it's amazing he didn't get picked.
They made him like the sort of like mystery bad boy in season 2. And as a host, he was just like an adorable delight. Like, he had such great insight and like really genuine reactions. Like, he was not just there because he is the eye candy that he is. Like, he was a definite delightful addition to the hosts.
Yeah, and what I liked was he wasn't just like, well, in my season, we did this, and in my season, I like that and maybe they edited a lot of that, I kind of doubt it, though. I like that he was genuinely reacting to this season. I think he was a great addition. He was so good. He had great commentary. He had great insight. He like kind of could read the men well. He kind of read the women well, too. I loved him. And I will say the 2 women on the panel, Da-hee and Jin-kyung, the way they teamed up together this season to really shit on Gwan-hee.
It was amazing.
I loved it. Like, they were so done. Their comments were amazing. Like, when Jin-kyung was basically like, I need a massage. Oh my God, I need a massage because I'm so frustrated dealing with this. Her commentary, I always liked her. I think she's just really, really good at commentary, really good at comedy. And I thought she also excelled this season. And I also think Da-hee was more outspoken as well. And I loved it.
Like, speaking of like, you know, like their manners and mannerisms, I love that Da-hee was more outspoken and more reactive, but also like she never wants anybody to see her open her mouth wide when she's like laughing or gasping. And I think it's adorable.
Right. I know. She's so cute.
Yeah.
The panel with the addition of Dex, I hope they keep him.
I do too.
I really thought he was perfect. And he is
good.
He's just freaking perfect.
I mean his hair, like, take a note from his hair.
Yeah, please.
Wannick. All the other men. Look at that hair.
Min-Q.
Look at his hair.
Look at his hair.
Replicate
it.
Yeah, he is the coolest. Honestly, I just think that like his career path seems assured at this point. And like the thing is that he played his game well in Singles Inferno. He
didn't turn into, like, no one disliked him. He didn't turn into a dick.
He was never a dick. He, even with like not choosing Nadine, which was a big mistake on his part, like, you know, he did what he wanted to do and he kind of like wrote it. And I feel like he kept his dignity intact.
He did.
Never was like a gross dude. And I mean, he caused dramas, but that's fine. I think Hong Jin-kyung, I have a crush on at this point. Like, I just think that
Me too.
she's very funny. Her hair is wild to me, and I don't
I
even
know.
care.
Oh, I
I'm
love
into
her.
it. Yeah, I think, I really, really love her. And I just love this, like every time this episode or this season when I was like, what the fuck? She was like, I was like, yes,
Yeah.
we are on the same.
Same too. She would like echo my thoughts, and it felt so good for her to verbalize what I was
And
thinking.
I loved when the
she's-
women,
I would say she's still a reason why I really want you guys to watch Legend of the Blue Sea, because she has like a
right.
supporting
yeah.
role in that, and she's so funny.
and I loved the end when the two women called it and they were like, we know who Guan Hee picked. And all the dudes were like, no, it's Minji. And they were
I was
like,
so proud of them.
and they were just like, look, you don't sob your guts out.
No.
Mm-mm. I knew he was going to pick her too. As soon as he cried, seeing her cry,
I thought
was
so
like,
too.
game's
And they knew
over.
it too. And they knew it. Yeah, both
The
women
knew it.
too.
I was surprised that Dex didn't pick.
I was too, but I feel like this is the thing, is like, even in season 2, I thought he was great, but I never felt like he was like a genius.
Oh no, I don't think he is either. Do you know he has an interview series called Dex's Fridge? Did you know that on YouTube? He interviews like female idols. It's amazing.
I mean, can we get a cast member on to interview? Like, like, can we make that? I mean, let's set that as an intention.
2024.
2024. I want to get a Singles Inferno cast member onto the pod,
Okay. Let's do it.
and I want Kyuhyun to shoot his shot.
Shoot a shot with Hanjang. Okay, so thoughts on the finale. I mean,
No surprises.
really none.
No.
I love how at the end they're like, well, Habin's eliminated. There's no women left.
But who'd you pick, Haben? Just so we can give you a little bit more screen time.
Yeah.
I think it was really interesting. Two contestants 2 years in a row. We had Hanbin last year in season 2 and Haben this year.
Yeah.
That were just kind of like, they were cute. They were
just
nice.
there.
No one picked them.
They were just there.
And I find the casting choices to be fast. Again, I'll just never be over how we have like cream of the crop women and then like some dudes.
Where are the male bioinformatics majors?
Yeah, or just like the
Give me a big old dork.
that you can bounce a quarter off their ass.
Yeah,
Right.
but he's like a workout fiend and he has a good personality. Is that too hard? Is that there's millions of women who are like that?
Yeah. That's what I keep wondering. I'm like, why do you keep finding these like demure, like milquetoast dudes?
I know.
What I want though is, are we going to get a reunion of some sort?
I know. I was waiting for that.
I hope so.
Because we've had reunions in other shows, I think.
Last year for sure, like when they went back and watched it. Like we got
I
to
think
see
they'll
them
start
watching it.
releasing stuff.
Yeah, I want more. I want like, I'll do some Singles Inferno spin-offs of like Ascatage. I just want to go back and do like,
I know,
I
right?
mean, I would watch that 100%.
I thought it was funny when everyone was paired and then there's like the 4 people who were left and they're just like sitting there and the camera all
I know.
sad and the camera panned away. I was like, could you at least let them like walk out together? Why did you?
So
like,
Minji,
totally did them dirty.
I feel like Minji was that everyone else kind of knew what was coming for them.
Yeah, she just sat and pouted.
But I think she thought she was she at least gave the impression she thought it was going to be.
And Hajong was just being true to herself. Like she's like, I'm not going to pick somebody else just to get picked.
Yeah, but I
Aw,
mean,
I
what if
loved
you
it.
were just like, I'm not going to pick anyone? Like, that's what I wanted Haesun to be like. That's what I was really hoping for, was that she was going to be like,
Yeah.
I picked
I
myself.
know.
I picked
I know.
myself. And then at the end, I'm like, what kind of an icon did you roll out being? So she must have either really liked Gwahi, felt like she had no choice but to go up. But like, yeah, I really wish that she had been like, I pick me.
Okay, and then what do we want to see in season 4?
I want like more games and more interaction on the island. Like truthfully, Paradise was kind of boring, I thought, this year. Like,
Wasn't it?
It was.
yeah, I
Because
think
the characters, because the
I said
dudes
that
were,
too, yeah.
Yeah, dudes are boring. Guan Hee was the most interesting in Paradise. And Jin Suk, but he didn't go enough.
yeah. I mean, I was into his like slow paddling around with his big old chest out.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, like I was way more interested in Inferno than I was in Paradise. So let's do more stuff on the island and let them all interact with each other, because it was
And different-
it was more like, let's pair them up and ship them off like every 5 minutes.
I don't think they need to go to Paradise every night. That's my thing.
Yeah. Well, I think this might have been an interesting lesson in that there was a couple who matched up not on Paradise.
Yeah.
And so that might have like taught them something in this, because I feel like this time there was this frenetic energy of we need to get them out. We need to get them out. We need to get them out. Whereas like some of this is just going to happen by chilling.
And they need better games. And this is the thing that's crazy to me is that Korean reality shows are they have millions of games. Like Korea itself has millions of games.
Yeah.
And you're telling me the only thing you do is have someone knock a hat off? Like, I don't understand. Like, even what if they even paired up random men and women and made them do the Pepero game?
Yeah.
How cool would that be?
Yeah.
Like give us like some inventive things, and even like making the men run uphill for a while. I was like, I mean, sure, I guess.
And the thing that sucks is that like that kind of stuff though, like you're already kind of predestined of who's going to go, right? Like it would be nice. It's more wild card stuff where like it could be anyone's game.
Oh gosh. And the one where Mino didn't even get to participate. They're just like, sorry. That was so stupid. I
want one where they have to like make fire, and it's the dudes making fire and the women have to like, you're paired up with someone and you're not going to eat unless like they can make a fire.
Right. Make a fire and you got to like cook noodles.
Like actual challenges.
Yeah. Yeah. The women's challenges were a major disappointment to me this year.
They were gross.
So yeah, like we will, first of all, Korea, you don't need help. You have plenty of cool
so
games.
many games.
Just do a better game.
Yeah, but don't make women demean each other by pinning tails to their asses.
Yeah.
And also, I want a variety. Like I don't want the men to only do strength and endurance. Like, let's give them some sort of intelligence game.
Yeah.
A puzzle, something like that. So, look, those are our critiques. Get it done. And
better men.
Oh, yeah. Come on. There has to be better men.
I wish we could do a queer Singles Inferno.
Oh, well, his man is not, it's not like Singles Inferno, but his man is like literally they're just in Inferno. Well, they're not in Inferno, but they're just in a house. Literally.
But I would love to do like an Inferno.
That's true.
Like, I would actually love to do a queer Inferno.
That would be really, really cool. I would watch that. I mean, I loved his man too. I still follow the couple that made it out. I follow them on social media, like religiously. I love them. I think they're great. So they have a cat named Mangchi, which I think means hammer, and it's a really cute cat. They're always like, Mangchi! And the cat's like, meow! Like in the background.
Oh my God.
Anyway. Okay, so...
I was just going to say Patreon. We took it to Patreon too. And really, honestly, no other big surprises. Basically, there was just like a general sense of everything we said. The only thing that I think came up that we didn't talk about was like with Guri was... What's also interesting in the show is when the people get rejected who've probably never been rejected in their entire life.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And
she did not know what to do with that.
She tried to spin it and say, I really wasn't feeling it anymore with him after he said, I am not going to go with you.
She wrapped herself like a gremlin in that blanket.
I know. So
and then when she took the mic off, what was, I don't even understand the point of taking the mic off.
And poor baby Minu's like, are we allowed to do that? Like that's against the rules. Like he's like such a rule follower.
And then oh my God. And then when Sooyoung came in and is like, okay, are you done now? And she's like, no.
It was scary. Even though the hosts were like, we are scared.
It was just like, oh gosh. I was just like, why would you do? Cause I'd been kind of like,
it gave me the ick.
I was like, she's kind of boring, whatever. I don't know. And then like, I was like, she's kind of like pretty and snobby, whatever. And then when she did the challenge, I was like, oh yeah, she's interesting. And now I'm like a fan. And then I just went, yeah, I got the ick so hard. Yeah. Cause it was just, it felt abusive.
And then Xian even said, she's like, I don't think anybody has ever talked to me like that before. She's like, that was a first.
Yeah, it was.
She's so proper. So she's probably like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we are eagerly awaiting season 4. I hope they're like filming it right now.
I know.
They don't. I think they film it over the summer.
They do. But Jinsuk, I'm ready to go to his bakery.
Oh my God.
I so want to go to that bakery. Oh my gosh.
Buy some real estate from Wonick.
Yeah. I follow Jinsuk on Instagram now. And he has reels of himself, like making cakes, and they look freaking great. I
followed all of them on the Afternoona Instagram, so we have them all now.
Yeah, they're great. They're great. Overall, it was a great season.
I have one other manifestation that I would actually like to see.
Okay.
It would be fun to do a Singles Inferno of all the people who didn't get picked.
Ooh,
like that didn't match up. And do like a spin-off of like the non-matchers.
I also would like to see a Singles Inferno with people that are not otherworldly beautiful. Like, can we have like more normal?
Yes, but that's
people?
never going to happen.
It's
So
never going to happen.
the spinoff, we're going to call it The Leftovers.
So mean.
Although then I'm like, do I want that one? I'm like, oh, so many, because then we'll just have the awesome women.
Yeah. Okay, well, we hope you enjoyed listening to us talk about Singles Inferno. We hope you liked it. Don't worry. When season 4 comes back, we will be all over it.
Thanks for listening.
Annyeong!
Annyeong. All right. Hello, everybody. I have with me a very special guest today. Special guest, could you please say your name?
My name is Poppy.
And Poppy, how do we know each other?
You're my mom?
I'm your mom. And are you a regular listener to the Afternoona Delight podcast? Do you listen to the podcast very often?
No, not really.
Not really. Do you watch a lot of K-dramas?
Well, I have been watching this one called Singles Inferno.
So not so much the K-dramas, but you got really into a Korean reality show. Is that correct?
Yes.
And how many seasons of Singles Inferno have you watched now?
I have watched 3.
You've watched all 3 seasons?
Yes.
Which season would you say is your favorite?
Well, my season that's my favorite is probably season 3 because it's the most dramatic.
It's the most dramatic. Do you like some drama in your shows?
Yeah.
So, were there any surprises for you in season 3?
Yes.
What were your thoughts on Guani, the basketball player with the big eyebrows?
Well, at first I thought he was nice, but then when he kept on going, then he started picking a bunch of girls, and then at the end, he just had to pick one of them, and it took him and when it was his turn, he didn't even decide yet, because nobody,
Everybody wanted it.
yeah, half of the girls, most of the girls, actually.
Did you understand what they saw in him?
I don't know. No.
No, not really.
No.
Would you rather be at Paradise or at Inferno?
I feel like I would want to go to Inferno because, it's a really pretty island, and there's so much nice places, and yeah.
So you would rather be on the island eating the chicken out of a can?
Sure, yeah, basically.
And do you have any ideas for the show on how they could improve their games? What would be, because you're in elementary school, you play a lot of fun games. Uh-huh. Is there any games that you can think of that would make a good competition compared to what we saw this season?
I think there might be one, but I didn't. But I do it inside of my after school program, Boys and Girls Club.
Oh, and you do it's okay. You do a game at after school program, Boys and Girls Club. And what is it?
It's dodgeball because the kids are there for really hard, so it's hard to
So you think dodgeball? That could be a very fun one. Dodgeball, and whoever's the last one standing gets to go to Paradise.
Yeah.
Are you a good thrower of the ball in dodgeball?
Mm-hmm.
You are? Do you get people out?
Yeah.
Do you throw it hard?
Yeah.
Do you cause pain?
I don't know.
So, any other final thoughts on Singles Inferno this season?
Maybe.
Okay.
I liked how
Jin Suk, and then the girl was Min Young.
I liked how Min Young got someone, because I felt like she wasn't going to get someone in the bed, but then she did.
Did you like how she messed with Jin Suk's mind, though, at the beginning? No comment?
Really know.
Yeah, no comment?
No comment.
Okay. And who is the best dressed, would you say?
I don't know. A lot of the people did a good job dressing.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks so much for taking the time to talk to me today.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that we could reconvene for Singles Inferno 4?
Yes.
Are you excited for Singles Inferno 4?
Oh, yeah, I am.
Okay. Love you.
Love you.
Kamsahamnida. Thank you for listening to Afternoona Delight. Where can you find us outside the pod? Head on over to afternoonadelight.com. That's AFTERNOONADELIGHT.com. You'll find links to all our social media, our book recs, K-pop and K-skincare recs, and if you want even more Afternoona Delight, because really who doesn't, you can join our Patreon, where you can choose the patron level that's right for you. Join in daily K-drama conversations, listen to bonus podcast episodes just for patrons, and participate in our monthly live K-drama support group via Zoom. We can't wait for you to be a part of the community. Until next time, annyeong!